Hi, my name is Andrea Moreno, and my final paper is about managing ecotourism and its impacts for resorts, specifically in the hospitality industry. The superiority of the environment, both natural and man-made, is vital for tourism. However, tourism's correlation with the environment is a very complex issue. The reason being is that tourism engages many activities that can be harmful and have environmental consequences. Things such as the production of general infrastructure, which includes roads and airports, tourism facilities, resorts, hotels, restaurants, shops, golf courses, marinas, have a damaging impact. As you've noticed, all those things I've mentioned are something that we as people use regularly, and the use of it is only going to continue to grow as time goes on. Negative impacts from tourism take place when the quantity of visitors exploit is greater than the environment's capability to manage this issue within the adequate limits of change. Therefore, there has been much dispute by scholars that think that tourism can be valuable to the environment. In comparison to other industries such as manufacturing, it does seem less destructive. There is proof that the US and European tourism has promoted restoration and preservation of historical sites. Resorts have also encouraged conservation in countries such as Costa Rica, Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. Resort development can cause harm to the environment, such as architectural pollution, which is a condition where resort facilities clash with the native surroundings and architecture. The legal framework. To my surprise, currently environmental law is not a distinct field. Almost all environmental requirements appear in criminal, property, construction, and water law. In the United States, states such as New York and Illinois have adopted constitutional provisions to protect the environment, but there have been no federal amendments that have been implemented. In Europe, a European Economic Area Accord has environmental provisions, but member states maintain their own regulations. Countries such as Spain and Portugal see the protection of the environment as a fundamental social right and entail a constitutional claim for compensation. So basically, what I've just said here is that there aren't any real laws to instate regulations on environmental protection for hotels, for resorts especially. Really, there's no laws instated except for agreements, maybe, and treaties, and only in very few states, such as New York. There's a lot of natural beauty in the United States, and very little has been done in terms of legal framework to protect it. The International Environmental Law began in 1972 with the United Nations Stockholm Conference, and between this conference and the 1992 Rio Conference, several hundred bilateral and multilateral agreements were concluded. Let's note that these are only agreements and not laws that must be abided by and are not punishable by state. Non-governmental organizations, known as NGOs, tour operators, public land managers, and local community groups have voluntary codes of conduct which have served as a set of guidelines, each stressing a different priority. There are three main components in the depletion of natural resources. There are water, 70% of the earth is made up of water, local resources, and land degradation. An average golf course in a tropical country such as Thailand needs 1,500 kilograms of chemical fertilizer, pesticides, and herbicides per year and uses as much water as 60,000 rural villagers. That's an immense amount of water and chemicals basically just to operate only a golf course, not even an entire resort. Just so you have an idea of how much damage we as users are causing to the land. Similar to land aggregation, pollution is a large problem in the ecotourism realm. Resorts can cause the same forms of pollution like in any other industry, such as air emissions, noise, solid waste, littering, release of sewage, oil and chemicals, and in extreme cases, even architectural and visual pollution. An interesting fact is that tourism now accounts for more than 60% of air travel and is therefore responsible for an important share of air emission. In areas with high concentrations of tourism, waste disposal is a serious problem, and improper disposal is an even bigger problem. And it can be a major despoiler of the natural environment, which are rivers, scenic areas, and roadsides. There are many ways in which the tourism industry can contribute to environmental conservation. It is important that tourist propaganda be enhanced to ensure the concept of sustainable development. It must be deeply rooted among the people. Implementing things such as guide explanation, road signs, and brochures can be fully used to educate visitors to not destroy the environment, but most importantly to protect it. When I went to Costa Rica, there was signs everywhere, in my room, in my key card, explaining for us not to feed the animals. Costa Rica is one of the leaders in preserving natural habitats, yet implementing resorts. I went to one of the best resorts in the country, and everything was all about sustainability. Everywhere you would look, every single sign was please don't feed the animals, please make sure you throw away this trash, uses even down to the electricity. The electricity of the room operated with the key card in it. So I would have to put the key card in for all of the light switches to work, fans, lights, blow dryers, anything. And the second I would leave my room, I would leave my key with me. So I would take my key and then that would shut off all the electricity. So even in that way, they were sustainable. It's also really important to improve environmental management and planning by using cleaner production techniques, which can be important tools for planning and operating tourism facilities such as resorts in ways that minimize environmental impacts. Raising environmental awareness has the potential to increase public appreciation of the environment and to educate people about the problems caused by tourism. Most importantly, the current legal framework is a patch of agreements and treaties that concern trade more than environmentally sustainable tourism, and often they are conflicting. We must implement laws that create a systematic enforcement for those who do not follow the guidelines. I feel like that is the most important thing that has to be done to sustain ecotourism and resorts all over the world. There must be laws where they are implemented, and if you do not abide by them, there are consequences for it. So this is my video on my paper. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a wonderful summer. It was a pleasure being in this class.